G'day folks, just a little bit of interesting travel info, tourist info I guess. I'm in Melbourne, which is the capital city of Victoria, and I'm in one of the gardens on the south bank of the Yarra. The Yarra River is the large waterway that flows right through Melbourne and down to Port Phillip Bay. Over there is Prince's Bridge that crosses the river and puts me on the south bank. Stand near a beautiful Madeira plant, huge thing, and then there's this gigantic lily. Oh, it's magnificent, and it's in flower. Incredible thing. I don't know what his name is though. See, they're putting plastic collars around some of the trees to stop the possums from climbing up and making holes and damaging the trees. Not going to stop those little rainbows though. So you can see up there through up the pathway that metal spire. That's the structure on the roof of the art centre, which is what's the name? Something Hall. I can't remember it now. That's where they the home of the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, basically. Where they have all the posh stuff. Romeo and Juliet. The opera is playing there at the moment. Joy Flight helicopter. That big building there is actually the tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere, and we're going to go up there later on and have a look at the observation deck up there. Let's go down to the riverside. They're doing some very traditional English type of things this morning, my dears. Sculls, it's a typically rowing team. Yeah, rowing fours, although there's probably 8 of them. La-di-da. Here's a couple of the boats drying out. They've had a little wash. They're doing some construction down here, which is a bit of a shame. It makes things a little unsightly, but there you go. Progress. Plane trees everywhere. These beautiful big plane trees. It leaves very much like an oak tree. Now this is home to the rowing clubs. Potential Olympians practicing on the Yarra, which is a brilliant river for it. It's wide, it's slow, it's calm. Little tourist boat over there. There's another view of Prince's Bridge. You can see that copper dome there. That's Flinders Street, the famous Flinders Street railway station. All the clocks out the front and so on. Very recognisable Melbourne landmark. Over there you've got the spire of St Paul's Cathedral. Popped in there the other day. Extraordinary. Never fails to amaze me the things that our species are capable of constructing in the name of, you know, in the name of education or spiritualism, or, you know, you look at the library and places like that. Such incredible things, and built so long ago. Over there, that's Federation Square, all those very trendy looking buildings with lots of angular glass. Interesting precinct. Lots of sort of modern art, contemporary art. There's a Indigenous art exhibition going on there at the moment. And there's coffee shops and everything, as Melbourne does so very well. Melbourne is unlike Sydney in many ways, and Sydney tends to rely on its noticeability in the international scene. It's the Opera House, the beautiful harbour, the harbour bridge. It's usually the first port of call for tourists from around the world, and Sydney and Australia too. Sorry, I suppose. But Melbourne makes up for it in a lot of ways. Melbourne is a much more avant-garde city. It's more compact. I've got a hotel in the Pullman on Swanston Street. You couldn't want a more central location. Everything's in walking distance, everything. If it isn't, there's the trams that have been here for a long time. Sydney's only just starting to get its trams back now. They realised they made a mistake when they got rid of them, because they certainly cut down on the traffic and pollution. So Melbourne's got its very high fashion. It's a foodie's delight. You can eat your way around through Melbourne. It's amazing. And they don't just rely on people being there and having to buy stuff. The restaurants vie with each other for quality and imagination, and it's guaranteed everywhere you go the food is going to be good. I went to a restaurant last night that I last went to in 1982, and it's still there. My dad took me there when I was 16, and it's been there I think 50 years. And for a restaurant to last that long in the business, in a cutthroat business, like, it's testament, isn't it, to the quality, the customers, just the longevity is amazing. When we first got here, it was raining and freezing. This is still mid-spring. Once that sun goes, it gets really cold. The Melbourne weather is very frustrating. You can take some sunscreen and a raincoat, and you should be okay. So, like I said, I'm on the South Bank. There's the Yarra. Oh, you can see just up there on the bend of the river, those huge lights. That's the world famous Melbourne Cricket Ground, MCG, if you're into that sort of thing, which I'm not, but it is iconic. You think of people like Don Bradman and stuff that's shrine to that sort of carry on. But it's really turned the weather on for us today, so I'm stoked. And if there isn't a tram, then you can grab the free electric scooters. There's free electric bicycles. There's also buses, taxis, Uber. I mean, it's all got it all over Sydney in terms of accessibility. Yeah, so Melbourne Fashion Week's coming up. So Melbourne is food, it's fashion, it's art, it's coffee, it's chocolate, it's style, really style and place. I love Melbourne. I lived in Victoria when I was straight after I left school back in 1981. So I haven't been back for 20 years when I came down here and played some gigs with my last band. And yeah, I forgot how much I love it. So I'm going to take a bit of a walk now, and then I'm going to go up into the King's Domain and read for a while. And I think I'll have a coffee. See ya.